So the fire's just about out. Got a tiny little bit of glow left and some tiny little twigs, but that's about it. Cheers. Oh, perfection. Oh, hot enough to really warm me up, but not quite hot enough to scald me. Perfect. Oh, so good. Well, I'm looking forward to it today. It should be a really nice day. Just knowing that it's the last day of walking, and tomorrow I'm going to be able to rest and just stay off my feet as much as I like and let my feet heal. I'll be looking forward to that all day. But at the same time, I'm going to make sure that I stay in the moment and enjoy the views that are left. I'm sure the back end of the day isn't going to be filled with loads of like picturesque views, because obviously I'm going to get into the town. That said, I was surprised by London having quite a lot of nice little moments and sights in there, so maybe Gloucester has something like that to offer. Admittedly, another factor with Gloucester is that I'll be going as direct route through as possible. I did that roughly with London, but tried at least to follow some interesting pathways along the Thames and stuff like that. But with Gloucester and at the back end of the trip, that is not going to be happening. I'm just going to be finding the most direct route through to get to the target and the finish line. Yeah, my feet don't want to take an extra step, not even one. Like the bare minimum I can get away with, that's how I'm doing it. I am tired. My feet do not want to do any more. I'll be pushing through because I want to complete this challenge. I want to complete the mission and get to the Tidal Severn. And that's going to be something that for the rest of my life I can say I did that. I walked across the country. Okay, that technicality. I'm sure there have been some comments by now about the whole technicality of just because it's tidal. In the future, when I'm recovered from this and I feel I've got a good line or route to take, I will have another crack at this maybe, if you guys want to see that, and do it somewhere where it's, instead of just tidal river to tidal river, waves to waves. And I'll promise you that if you guys get behind these videos and they get watched and they get liked and everything goes well, and I think they're popular enough to revisit and do another series with a big adventure like this across the country, then that's what I'll do. And I'll make the promise now, if this does really well, I'll make the proper sea to sea, waves to waves trip across England. Ready to go, and with the exception of a few leaves that have been moved, everything is how I found it. Once the animals have been through and scuppered everything up again, and there's been a few more leaves dropped, there'll be absolutely no sign that I've been here at all. And as per usual, in and out without anyone the wiser. Eat your heart out, SAS. I'll be honest, I won't miss all this squelchy mud once this mission is done. I'm looking forward to some summer hikes where conditions will be a lot drier and just more pleasant. It's always more pleasant camping in the summer. I don't think anyone would argue that. I mean, it's fun to do it in the winter. If I had a hot tent as well, ooh, that's something I've always thought to do. Get myself a proper tent with a nice tent stove and head up to Scotland. But at the same time, I've got a van with a wood stove of its own, so it almost seems pointless. I might just drive the van up and spend some time up there in the van, which is definitely something that's penciled in for the future. We got to the Pennines in January, but we never actually made it to Scotland, which was the original plan, was to go as north as it needed to get snow. But we kind of got a bit tired of having to move quite so often and so fast and spending so long travelling, because we didn't really have the right amount of time to make a trip that distance, not without pushing it quite hard. I mean, some of you might be thinking, that's not that hard to do, but I'll be honest, neither me nor my lads like to be cooped up in a vehicle all day long trying to get somewhere. So we like to do it a piece at a time, and we like to spend a bit of time in each place we stop just to enjoy it. Van life isn't about rushing around, it's about taking a more relaxed approach. Well, at least that's the way I see it. Obviously, one of the really important things about van life is that it's different for everybody. Something that I noticed that almost universally van lifers have accepted is that there are different ways to live life, and you should be living yours your way and let others live it their way, because everyone who lives in a van does it differently, whether it be the setup of the van, whether it be like how they do it. You've got, traditionally you have people who do like full-time touring, as it's called, on campsites, where they literally spend their whole year living in a motorhome or a caravan or whatever and move around from site to site, but always on campsites. And then on the other extreme of like van living or caravan living or whatever you want to call it, there's me living off-grid as much as possible, never on the campsites. And then there's everyone in between, and the ones who live off-grid, even us, we're different to a lot of others. We don't park up in all the picturesque spots, generally speaking. We like to find a private little spot somewhere, and we've got a car so we can drive to the picturesque places. We've also got our bikes, and we'll often cycle. So for instance, our favourite spot in Wales isn't right by the beach, it's a 5-10 minute bike ride away, but that 5-10 minute bike ride is actually quite pleasant and never stops us. So we'd rather have a bit of peace and quiet and not have any grief from the people who get upset with all of the van lifers trying to be parked in the Instagrammable places. Wow, that'll stop you from your chit chat. Just have a look around at this, guys. That is an absolutely beautiful morning, and what a lovely woodlands at this point. I'm guessing I just carry on straight down here. Whew. But yeah, so that's something that pretty much every van life has embraced, the idea that you can live your life differently and you can do things differently. So each to his own. Just like my channel name, Camping Rules OK. We make the rules ourselves. There are many different variations of camping, and rather than trying to tell one person their way isn't the right way or the realistic way to camp, just let each person do it their own way. That campsite back there with the young kids doing a great thing there. I don't think there's anything negative to be said about it, but yet it's not camping like I do it. But it doesn't mean it's not camping. It doesn't mean I'm not camping either. Just because, hey, we're all camping, it's all different. Whoa, not looking where I'm going. Big muddy splodge. Let's let that close. Oh, whatever. So yeah, there's definitely been some tough times throughout this trip. Some really tough times and challenges. But overall, it's been a fantastic experience. I won't say I've loved every minute of it. That would be a lie, but I've definitely loved the majority of it. And it's times like this in the morning where I've had my hot chockey, I've had a nice chill, leisurely sort of pack down, and I'm feeling full of energy because I've had a big dinner the night before. That was a gorgeous dinner. Oh, it was better than the time before because I gave it that extra cooking time. The beef actually hydrated really well, so I've clocked it. Put it all in, get it going. Let it have a little bit of time on the boil before I put in the dumplings, and then yeah. But as per usual, the dumplings, they really make it. And fitting 3 little dumplings in that pot is totally doable. That was a big and fantastic meal. So I'm fully recharged, ready for the day. Got the sun at my back, and I'm already ploughing into the miles. Let's get this thing done. Still dealing with the muddy conditions thanks to the rain a couple of days ago. Oy. I'm going to be down to my t-shirt in a minute. It's warm already, I've barely got going. The Cotswold hasn't finished giving me some interesting sights yet. It's just a beautiful place to live, wouldn't it be? What a morning. I'm absolutely ploughing through it. I'm almost bouncing along. I haven't walked this fast since the first day. First big road of the day. It lasted for about 2 minutes, so this could prove to be a really beautiful spot. Wow. Can I assume that's Gloucester? Or somewhere similar? That's where we're heading. All the way down there. Wow. We can see the end, sort of. What a view for the last day. That's nothing short of epic. I can see for so many miles. I mean, hello. I mean, if only it was all like this, eh? Mind you, it would get boring if it was all like this. You wouldn't just get this surprise of such a lovely view. Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
This is a beautiful view, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you photographing the construction of the new road, or are you just...
No, I'm walking from London to Gloucester.
All right.
So, and I'm nearly there.
Right.
So I'm quite happy today.
Yeah, you'll
But,
get this is a good view now.
This is the the end of the walk. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How long has it taken you?
This is day 8. So,
All right.
So 8 days in total.
And you've been sleeping in under the stars.
Pretty much, yeah. Just a little emergency bivvy bag. Yeah. It's been,
yeah. And has it been all right when we've had all this rain?
Oh, yeah. That was a tricky one. I spent that one under a skate ramp on a park.
All right.
Yeah, because it was about the best I could get. Not that it worked out very well. I got soaked in the end, but
Right.
but yeah, no, I was all right though.
So do you live in London?
No, I live just north of London, but
Right.
it was a good starting point. I'm basically walking from the Tidal Thames to the Tidal Severn, so
Right.
sort of trying to go from tide to tide, sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, it's just a bit of a challenge walk, basically. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But it's actually, we've walked it in parks. We lived in Dunstable in Bedfordshire.
oh yeah, I know it well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've done it, we did the Ridgeway,
Yeah.
and we've done various parks of it over the years.
Ah.
But I mean, it's you really do appreciate the scenery.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. I just think we're so fortunate. And then we've got the seasons, which make it different, even if you do it at different times.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So all that over there, the hills, is that Wales?
No, well, see the one with the trees in the top?
Yeah.
That is still in Gloucestershire.
Okay.
But the hills beyond there, that's the
really
Malverns.
Ah, the Malverns.
Yeah, right.
And then the ones right in the haze, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. You're in Wales.
Wow, that's crazy to think that though. I was trying to work out what's what.
Yeah, no,
but
that's the Malverns.
Oh yes, I know that. Yeah, that's
and they can be really quite challenging in places.
Yeah.
It just looks like a nice ridge, but there's some real ups and downs there.
Yeah, that's definitely on my to-do list.
Yeah,
those
right.
ones over there.
But if you go the other side, you're definitely in Wales.
Yeah.
Just on the edge of that, you're in Wales. But that's May Hill. It's supposed to be 100 trees, but we counted them, and there was more than 100 there.
Yeah.
But that's another place.
Well, I suppose maybe a long time ago it was 100 trees.
Yeah.
We'll give them that. We'll give them that.
Right. But it's when you go, that is sort of really on the edge. And if you go along that road, you end it again up in Wales.
Well, it's lovely to meet you.
Yeah. Bye.
Take care. Lovely lady. Sally from Dunstable, but I guess she lives here now. What a place to live. The walks around. So if you caught that, we can see the Malverns from here, and I can actually see Wales, which is incredible to think. I mean, it's the right hazy stuff right in the distance, but still. Right. On I go. Eight days, and that's the end of the scenic, and now we're just on to the grind of the last bit. It's always lovely meeting the locals, especially when they're friendly like that. It really puts a smile on your face and lightens up the mood. It's brilliant. It's put me in a really good mood. So this is the big road that I'm now going to be following. This is going to be the majority of the rest of the day, just following this. Not to say there won't be things to see, but yeah, this is me for the time being. Well, the bus will get me there quicker, but now's not the time for cheating, eh? So close to the end. Oh. But it's kind of a bit of a slap in the face. Just like, I'm sure this bus just takes me all the way down this road. But needs must. Off he goes. Oh. All these people taking the bus, taking it for granted. Whoa. I'm going to walk it all the way down there. But it's not walking from the Thames to the Severn, tidally that is. It's not a proper challenge unless I complete it all the way to the end. I can't just skip this little bit just because it's a boring bit of town, but also I could miss something special. I have no idea what Gloucester has to offer. I'm not quite in Gloucester yet. I'm on one of the suburbs just outside of it, but I'm very nearly there. I'm eating away the miles. I'm even going faster than all the cars. Oh dear. a lovely warm day, and every time I see a shop like that behind me, I think to myself, they might sell Calippos, but I have to wait until the mission is over, which isn't long away, but I'm pretty sure the first thing I'm going to do is find a shop and buy a Calippo. I can taste the finish line, put it that way. I'm thinking of all the things that I can eat once I get there. I already mentioned the Calippo being high on the list. I'm definitely going to get some food while I'm here at Gloucester. And this might sound weird, but I might be able to find a laundrette open and get some of my clothes washed, so that when I go back on the train I'm not completely stinking everyone out, because I can only imagine how bad I smell. The proud home of wolves, the Calippo. I mean, I have to have a Calippo now. Got the green light. Would you believe it? The last little section is blocked off. That's unbelievable. Okay, wait. Alright, so if I go down here a bit further, I can use the main road to get over. Maybe they've just closed it because of the bridge there. Hopefully it's not a problem with the... It's only just like a bit of an island or something over that side. So I'm going to go down here. Not a big detour, it's nothing major. It's a cool little shop. Right, so just follow this down, take a right at the end, and then go right over that bridge. And I'll be looking to then take a footpath to the left of that. Okay. Ooh, a little bit of excitement for the very end. I wasn't expecting that. Good news. I've found the way, I think. I'm back onto the route that was planned. Just a small diversion there along a bit of a main road. Obviously the route was avoiding that originally, but at least it was there to save the day when they closed the, I guess, the little bridge there. Must be weak. Now the last hurdle, so to speak, is this little bit of track that leads around to a split in the river, which is the ultimate goal for what we're doing today. But of course, recent conditions with the weather have left a lot of places flooded. So I'm really hoping that that's not the case here, and that I can actually make it all the way to the intended spot. It's the last little possible problem that could happen. But we'll see what happens, and we'll enjoy the walk through the last little bit of nature while we've got the chance. From the town to this, I like that. Well, this is what I was worried about. That doesn't look very passable. There was a second way down that looked like it might be trickier, but having looked at that, it's worth a shot. Let's go down here and see what this looks like and whether I can make it through without wellies. Well, so far a bit better. There's definitely a bit of slodge here, but this actually looks relatively passable. Just find the bits that look firmest that I won't sink into. We can tell the cows have been through here, can't you? They make these really big dents.
You're as daft as I am coming this way.
Yeah? Well, the other way's worse. I couldn't get through. Well, I say the other way. I'm trying to get to that bit, the what is it, lower parting or whatever. Did you? Is it possible?
Yeah, it is possible.
Ah.
There's a little bridge to the right down there.
Oh, brilliant.
Once you're at that little walkway, you'll find off.
Brilliant. I was going to be gutted there for a second. I walked all the way from London for this. So.
Oh, you're joking.
No. 8 days straight.
Enjoy.
Oh, that's great news. There we go. Tricky but doable. That's what I like to hear. Doable. There's that bridge. But I think there's a path here as well. Maybe not. Oh, so close. Nearly there. Just this last corner. And the lower parting, as it's called on the map, should be coming to the view fairly shortly. That might be it just there. 8 days, the Tidal Thames to the Tidal Severn. Done it. Get in there. Awesome. And now I've got a place to sit and have a little rest. Much needed. Well, if you've watched the whole thing and you've been with me the whole way, thanks very much. It's been great having you with me. To have successfully completed such a massive challenge. I'm quite proud of myself, but I couldn't have done it without you guys along. Just knowing you there with me, wanting me to succeed, that really drove me forward on the times when I really wanted to give up. I think if it was just me out here, there were many points where I might have just said, no, enough of this, just grab a train nearby and head on home. I've had enough. But I wanted to push on. I wanted to give you guys the finish, and here it is, the Tidal Severn, and it's beautiful. Thanks very much for coming along with me. I hope, if you haven't already done so by now, that you hit that subscribe button and make sure you give this a thumbs up, because it really would mean the world. I'll see you on the next one. You have fun.